It is my firm conviction that young players must play aggressive openings to open up the game and to learn how to attack. And this is especially important with white, which is more or less equivalent in chess to having the serve in tennis. Now, I believe for the young person, there's only one opening move that fits the bill properly, and that is 1e4. And I'm going to make some suggestions on this DVD against all the most common openings to help and inspire you to build your own opening repertoire. The emphasis will be on all-out assault. Please don't listen to people who give you negative feedback about some of these openings, telling you that grandmasters don't play this stuff. That really is rubbish. As a young player, you are looking to improve in the fastest possible way, and so to learn how to attack early is the right way to go about it. Now, before we kick off our investigation, it might be worth running over a summary of typical opening principles in chess. If you stick to and master the following principles of opening play, you will not go far wrong. Well, obviously the first thing is to try to bring the pieces into play as quickly as possible. In general, the pieces come out in the reverse order of strength. So commonly, if you look at master games, you'll see them bringing out their knights, then their bishops, the queen maybe, then the rooks, something like that. The queen and the rooks come last. The second opening principle is to only make those pawn moves that allow you to bring your pieces out. In games between young players, you commonly see them making lots of different pawn moves. Not necessary. The ideal pawn centre are pawns on e4 and d4, and for black e5 and d5. This will allow all your pieces to come into play quickly and easily. It's very important in chess to castle early, not only to bring the rook into the game, but to get your king to safety. The king is the most important piece you have, so look after your king. Another opening principle might be not to expose your pieces. For instance, a lot of young players like to bring their queen out early. Well, the queen gets kicked around and you lose time. The opening is a battle for time and position. Don't lose time in the opening by bringing out your major pieces to exposed squares. It's very important in chess to play to occupy the centre. Control or occupy the centre is very important in the opening. And finally, the main idea of the opening is just to get a good position for the middle game. I mean, if you win by a trap or a trick, or you manage to beat your opponent up in the opening, so much the better. But in games between equally strong players, you're not going to be able to do that. What you're trying to do is to get a good position for the middle game. No more, no less. So when you go away from this DVD and you're thinking about the opening suggestions I've made, what should you be doing? How do you take the whole process further? I'd like to suggest a method for you. The first phase of learning a new opening is the familiarisation phase. What you've got to do is decide on what you want to play, take a look at some ideas in books and magazines maybe, or from games you've played. Go through the material at reasonable speed to get the basic ideas of the opening and the patterns of play in your head. Just run over the typical positions that occur from the opening and the pitfalls. The second thing is to try the opening out in friendly or quick games at your club, on the internet, or against friends. Then, when you've got some material, when you actually played some games in one or other opening, you should check the lines you played against what you see in the books. At this stage, you're actually learning very quickly because you're actually connecting what you see in the books with the games you've actually played. Okay, then you've got to play a bit more. Once you've increased your book knowledge, keep playing, experiencing new ideas, new positions from this opening, then go back to the books and check it again. Finally, play your new opening repertoire choices in competitive games. And don't forget to analyse your games afterwards. You should be developing a study routine at this point, which enables you to look at your games afterwards, and you'll have extremely good book knowledge at this point. This is how the best players do it, and you can become one of these players using this method. And it's with that very positive thought that we begin this opening DVD.